about that. And I have a question for you, Mr. President. How have you prepared to host tonight?
Well, maybe I haven't prepared. Maybe you want to be a little bit loose. If you look at the great hosts, Johnny Carson, Bob Hope, those are the greats. If you look at the not so greats like Jimmy Kimmel, who's just terrible. But no, I think you want to be just loose. Not a lot to prepare for. You know what you have to be? You have to be yourself.
I've been asking your cabinet tonight, is this going to be more Johnny Carson or Don Rickles?
Well, Don, I knew them both, and they were both great guys and friends of mine. Both difficult, very difficult, but great. I was really very close to both of them. You can't compare them; they were very different.
Why did you want
But Johnny Carson for hosting was top of the line.
President Trump, Jesse Waters has a question for you. What was your favorite moment of 2025 at Forbidden Year?
I think when Jesse Waters interviewed me. Such a phenomenal interview. A great guy, and you're a great guy. You're doing a very good job out there. I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much, President Trump. Who is on your naughty list this year?
Oh, that's a long list. I better not tell you it's start a problem out there in the world. No, we have a pretty big naughty list, but our country is doing well. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. And a year ago, we were a dead country. We were a dead country that was laughed at all over the world. We're the hottest country in the world. And Jesse Waters is terrific.
What do you think the implications, Mr. President, of the Supreme Court overturning your authority on the tariffs, the emergency authority? What would be the implication for the economy of the country?
Well, we have a right to go a different form of tariffs. We have a right to go licensing. We have a right to go other ways. But the form of tariffing, as we call it, the current form of tariffing that's before the court, gives us a great national security, more than anything else, because it allows the president to act quickly and effectively, swiftly, and make a decision. And as you know, I ended 8 wars. We tried to end the 9th. We thought this would be maybe one of the easier ones. We just did Rwanda and Congo. And that was going on for 30 years. Russia, Ukraine, I thought was going to be a little bit easier, but it's not being made easy. It's a very tough war, very nasty. 27,000 people died last month, mostly soldiers. I will say that I really think this is really a night of joy tonight because of what's happening with this building. It's going to be fantastic when you see the end product. It's going to be better than it was new, and I think we'll celebrate that. But I will say that our country is doing really well.
President Trump has expressed concern about using tariffs, the revenue for a dividend, saying we should be paying down the national debt.
Well, we will. I agree with him on that, but I also think that we're making so much money with tariffs that we'll also be able to make a nice dividend to middle-income people. We're talking about middle-income and lower-income people. We're not talking about dividends to rich people. But there's so much money being made from the tariffs that countries that were taking advantage of us for many, many years are not taking advantage of us anymore. We're taking in tremendous amounts of money from countries that we were losing lots of money to. And you know what? They're okay with it. They're not complaining. They're not complaining about the tariffs. And rather not have them, but they're not saying there's anything wrong. And the big thing is in the court, we have tremendous flexibility with the current system. It's unbelievable for national security. I've ended 8 wars largely because of trade and because of tariffs. If we go the other tariff route, and there are other routes we can go, but it won't give you the same pure national security as this one. This one is swift and very powerful.
Mr. President, what's the next step in Russia Ukraine talks? What's your next step in Ukraine talks after that?
So we've been speaking to President Putin, and we've been speaking to Ukrainian leaders, including President Zelensky. And I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed that President Zelensky hasn't yet read the proposal. That was as of a few hours ago. His people love it, but he hasn't. Russia's fine with it. Russia, I guess, would rather have the whole country, when you think of it. But Russia is, I believe, fine with it, but I'm not sure that Zelensky is fine with it. His people love it, but he hasn't read it. So someday you'll explain that one to me, Jeff.
I don't have an explanation, sir.
President Trump,
what's your next step?
Raymond, thank you very much. Good job you're doing. Say hello.
Thank you. What would you like to see Sylvester Stallone do as a Hollywood ambassador?
He is automatic. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he is one of the ambassadors, as you know. And he's already been doing that. Look, all he has to do is be himself. If Sly is himself, that's all he can be. If he tries to be somebody else, it wouldn't be good. He's a great guy. He's done a fantastic job, and he really deserves this honor. You know, it's something he's wanted for years. And this is bigger than it's ever been. I mean, I don't want to say why. I refuse to say why. But you take a look at this line. Last year, if you look at this line, it was not this. It was a different thing.
Why are you and the First Lady spending so much time, so much energy in revivifying and remaking the Kennedys?
It's not the Kennedys. We are. Look, Bobby Jr. is doing a fantastic job. It's not the Kennedys. It's our country. We're bringing our country back, and we're bringing D.C. back, Washington, D.C. We're bringing our capital. It's a safe place now.
I mean,
it's a very
the
unsafe.
center itself. Why are you so focused on revivifying?
Because it could never be built again. It's got three massive places going. You have different stages, dance, theater, and you have a place that we're going to be in tonight that there's really nothing like it in the country. And if this disappeared, you'd never be able to build it again. And I'm able to save it because that's what I used to do for a living, really, is, well, make it better than anybody else. I can take something and spend less money than other people and make it better than anybody else could. The Kennedy Center has a chance to be unbelievable. And, you know, I mentioned yesterday something very important, sound. It's like sometimes you could say, like people, you either have it or you don't. Great sound in this building. A lot of times, and you know the Lincoln Center saga, they've rebuilt one building, most important building, they rebuilt it 4 times, and they've never been able to produce really great sound. The sound in the Kennedy Center has been incredible from day one. Call it luck or talent. Probably luck. There's a lot of luck involved. You know, the great sound buildings, the greatest in the world, are the old opera houses built in the 17 and 1800s in Europe. And they had one thing that was in common, lots of marble. And they didn't have sound engineers, they had lots of marble. And this has got great sound, even right here in the hallway. The sound is fantastic. Thank you very much, Raymond.
Madam First Lady.
I'm just curious to know how they have impacted your personal work.
Well, are you talking about the 5 honorees, the group and the 5 honorees? They are outstanding people. I had to approve them all. And every one of them, very different. I said last night, totally different audience, but when you add them up, they're 100% of our country and a big percentage of the world. So we have great honorees. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have a good time tonight. Thank you.
Mr. President, now we know that hosting for the presidents for many years. Could you imagine next year maybe you not hosting, but maybe you receiving the Kennedy Center?
That's an interesting one. I haven't thought of that. Yeah, I think I'm going to nominate myself for next year.
Mr. President, every day gives you a big job being the president. Why was it important for you to actually host the show tonight? And how much time did you spend getting ready for it?
Well, it wasn't important for me other than if I get much higher ratings, if it's a more successful show that I'm contributing. I get nothing. I don't make money with it. I don't do anything. It's a little bit of work, not a lot of work. I look forward to doing it, but the network said, would it be possible to get the president to host? And I love the concept of no president has ever hosted the Kennedy Center honorees. And it's very important that this building be great and that this building remain really, you know, I saved the building. You know, we raised a lot of money tonight, tremendous, record numbers of dollars, a lot of money. And we've raised over $100 million over the last very short period of time. That's a lot of money. And that money goes into the rejuvenation and the rebuilding of the building. And a lot of it's already taken place. A lot of the things that you don't see have already taken place.
Mr. President, at your words as you're saving the building, when will locals who come to the Kennedy Center, who live here, when will we start to see all the changes? And do you have a timeline for when this will all be wrapped up?
Over the next 4 or 5 months, we're going to have it very well set. You see the outside, the columns, they're beautiful. You know, they had a fake gold color, and now they're beautiful, gleaming white. And everyone's talking about that. It sounds like not much of a change. It's a massive change. You know, the white against the white marble. The marble is being rejuvenated. They're great pieces of marble, but they've been let go and they've been tired. And I always say you can take a 100th of an inch off of a piece of marble and you have a brand new piece of marble, but nobody does it. It's not an easy process, but if you look on the outside of the building, people see already a very big difference.
Is the first name the style of the change
A
that
little
happened
bit,
here?
yeah, she's got great taste, I'll ask her. I'll ask her opinion. She liked the white as opposed to the fake gold. But they had the fake gold. You know, the one thing about gold, you can never imitate real gold. They've tried to do it for years. Paint, gold paint. Gold paint never works. You gotta go for the real 24 karat gold. Yes.
Yes, sir. Is there another president other than yourself who you think would have done a good job hosting the Kennedy Center?
Hosting, yes. Building, no. You have a couple of politicians. They're very good on their feet, most of them. I would say the last one wouldn't have done too well hosting. But you know, we've had some great politicians. Excuse me, John F. Kennedy would have done a very good job hosting. But building, no. I will build better than anybody. I build better than anybody. Thank you.
Mr. President, was made tonight.
Say it.
Doubling, $23 million was made tonight, nearly doubling last year.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe we had something to do with it. I don't know. We doubled up last year. It's really much more than that because we've done over 100, not including tonight. We've done over $100 million already. And those are numbers that the Kennedy Center has never seen before. It's doing really well. Thank you for that question.
Mr. President.
You've done so much for American greatness.
Say it.
You've done so much for American greatness. Talk to the next generation about how important the values are that you're celebrating tonight are to American greatness. Things like self-discipline, creativity, talent, those things.
Well, the young generation, I think, is going to grow up strong. We have a very different country than we had a year ago. A year ago, we had a country that was in big trouble. Now we have a country that's the talk of the world, and everybody's respecting us again, and young people are respecting us again too. I won the young vote. The Republicans never win the young vote. I won it easily, and I want to thank Charlie, and I want to thank TikTok, and there are a lot of reasons for it. But there's never been a Republican who won the young vote, and I won the very young vote. So that's a good sign. Thank you.
Why did you select this, Mr. President? Why did you select this for the honor this evening? The other thing that Kiss song.
Well, I like them as people. I've listened to their music over the years. They're characters, they really are. I don't know if you saw last night the speeches. They were great. They really made some great speeches last night. And they're very popular. A lot of people write in and ask us to select. So, like, think of it. Sylvester Stallone was not picked for any of this stuff. He's one of the greatest movie stars of all time, based on revenue, based on, Rocky and Rambo and the numbers. No, I doubt. Maybe there's a couple of stars that have done something equal, but really there's nothing like it. So we're going to have a very exciting night. But Kiss is terrific.
Mr. President.
What are your two questions? What are you looking forward to most about hosting tonight? And number two, Secretary Duffy says you are the master of the playlist out on the Rose Garden. So what's your favorite song to listen to on the Rose Garden?
Well, I have so many different songs, and look, Lee Greenwood really hit big with that. It was from day one. We put it on the first rally, and we never took it off, and he's great. But I have a lot of favorites, and I can tell you that we both love Elton John, special man, special guy. He's really talented. We like a lot of different. I like a lot of different songs, a lot of different types of music. I have a good playlist. Thank you.
What would you like to see for American 250 here at the Kennedy Center? What would you like to see?
Well, we're going to have a lot of events. One of the things you're going to have here is some of the UFC press. You're going to have the fighters coming over talking about the fights. It's a big deal. The UFC on June 14th. It's going to be June 14th next year. And they're building an arena. The great Dana White's building an arena. And they're going to have 8 or 9 championship fights, the biggest fights they've ever had. Everyone's a championship fight. And everyone's a legendary type of fight. He's actually holding back fights right now for 6 months so he can do it for this, the 250. I think 250 is going to be amazing. I think the arena is going to be 5,000 or 6,000 seats right in front of the front door of the White House, and 100,000 people in the back where they're putting up 8 or 10 very big screens. That's going to be an exciting night. So many people are asking for tickets, the UFC. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Some of your favorite songs.
I did. I met with Ted. I think he's fantastic. I think he's, in the history of Hollywood, has really been almost, you could say, nothing like what he's done. You'd go back to Louis B. Mayer, maybe, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MGM. Ted has done an incredible job. I mean, he had a company that was very troubled 7 or 8 years ago, and he took it over, and he's really done a legendary job.
Should they be allowed to buy Warner Brothers? Should Netflix?
Well, that's the question. They have a very big market share. And when they have Warner Brothers, that share goes up a lot. So I don't know. That's going to be for some economists to tell. And also, and I'll be involved in that decision too. But they have a very big market share.
Did he make any guarantees to you about the merger if they do merge?
No, not really. He came up. He was in the Oval Office last week. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great person. But he's done one of the greatest jobs in the history of movies and other things. He's got a lot of interesting things happening aside from what you're talking about. But it is a big market share. There's no question about it. It could be a problem.
Mr.
Yes.
President, you mentioned some of your favorite songs. In your opinion, of what makes a song great?
Well, it's something that has to be soft and soothing to your ear. I like some songs that other people don't like. That's
Like
why
what?
they have. You ever hear the expression? That's why they have menus in restaurants. We're all different. We all order different things. Otherwise, you just serve one meal and that would be it.
Are you a country music fan?
But I love country music, and we have the king of country music tonight. So that's another one.
President Trump, will you rename the Kennedy Center the Trump Center?
It's not up to me. We have a board of 40 people that are really the most prestigious people in the United States. We have the honorary chairwoman on the board, right? As the first lady, she's honorary chairwoman. But it's a really prestigious board, and that's up to them. I don't know what they're doing about that.
And can you tell us
Look, we are saving the Kennedy Center.
And can you tell us how did you choose the nominees today, the winners today?
Yeah, we went through probably 50 different names. We were politicked by a lot of people, some of them the stars themselves. But we went through 50 names and we picked the 5, and we're very happy with it. They've really, very different audiences. But as I said just down the line, they're different audiences, but when you add them up, it's 100% of the public. Thank you.
Mr. President, the Opera House will be named after Melania. What did you talk about with Prime Minister Carney and Mexican President Sheinbaum when you were here just a few days earlier?
Mexico and Canada, we met with the, as you know, I mean, it was pretty well, a lot of people were here, right here we met. And the Prime Minister of Canada, President of Mexico, and we spoke for a half hour. Very good, very productive. Talked mostly trade.
Will you restart negotiations with Canada?
Oh, look, I have a great relationship with Canada. They're very tough traders, but I have a very good relationship with the Prime Minister and with Canada.
And you had said you would halt those negotiations earlier after the tariff.
Well, I have halted them.
And so will you restart them?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the problem is Canada makes a lot of things that we don't need because we make them also. But we'll work it out. Look, Canada's a special place, and they really are good at ice hockey, aren't they?
Mr. President, what is more difficult, Mr. President, hosting the Kennedy Center honors or preparing for the State of the Union?
Well, could I answer that question after the show's over?
If you give it to me, absolutely.
I'll give it to you after the show's over. I mean,
What's more difficult?
this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I hosted The Apprentice when it was the #1 show on television. We did 42.5 million people that night. It was a little different television than it is now. You had more people watching in those days.
What are you expecting, Mr. President, in terms of ratings for this year's Kennedy Center?
I think it'll do great. I think it's going to do great. Ratings are complicated now because you have streaming added on and everything else, but I think it'll do very big. I mean, just based on what you see right here. If you came here last year, you saw a line that was about 1/10 this size. You weren't even here last year, right?
Are you sorry not hosting your first
How do you
demonstration?
prepare for hosting this year's Kennedy Center? You have so much on your plate. Where
I
you
do.
take
I have a
time?
lot on my plate, and I didn't really prepare very much. I read a little bit. I have a good memory, so I can remember things, which is very fortunate. But I want to just be myself. So you have to be yourself. Johnny Carson, he was himself. Thank you, everybody.
No question, I'm going to stay away.
From politicization, do you think the Kennedy Center is now better serving all Americans?
I think it is. I think it's been really enhanced very greatly over the last 10 months, meaning since we've been here. And we're making it great. We're going to make it physically great as a building, so you won't even believe how beautiful it'll be. And we saved the Kennedy Center. That's a big thing. Thank you.
So, John, your first time you stayed away from the awards.